Let's bring in former California GOP chairwoman Jessica Milan Patterson and former GOP national spokeswoman Elizabeth Pipko. Thank you both for coming in. I want to play Elizabeth Pipko for you, some sound. This is Governor Gavin Newsom going after President Trump, saying that Trump is stoking division. Of course, he even invokes January 6th. No surprise. Watch.
Trump and his loyalists, they thrive on division because it allows them to take more power and exert even more control. And by the way, Trump, he's not opposed to lawlessness and violence as long as it serves him. What more evidence do we need than January 6th?
It's amazing to me, Elizabeth, that it wasn't about the riots. It wasn't about how he's going to defend it. It was all about how we stand up to Trump. That's not a governor's job. That's not what a governor does.
It's not what a governor does, but you know who does that? Someone who's trying to run for president in 2028. The fact is, the only thing Gavin Newsom cares about right now is using these protests to try to make himself the front runner once again for the Democrat ticket for 2028. He does not care about the people of California. He does not care about illegal immigration. He does not care about what has happened to our country in recent years. All he cares about is attacking Donald Trump, raising money off of that, raising his profile off of that, and trying to put himself back in the lead as a Democrat to, I guess, take the chance in 2028 to take the country back onto that side. But the fact is, voters have seen through it. They know exactly what's going on here, and I don't think they're going to buy it anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing to me. I mean, you are in California politics. You know, this speech that he gave tonight was produced by the state of California. It was awful. The audio dropped out. The audio got garbled. It was embarrassingly awful. And you think, can the state of California not do anything right? I want to play one more soundbite on Gavin Newsom and his thing where he says that the immigration enforcement is Trump's fault. Watch.
California is no stranger to immigration enforcement, but instead of focusing on undocumented immigrants with serious criminal records and people with final deportation orders, a strategy both parties have long supported, this administration is pushing mass deportations, indiscriminately targeting hardworking immigrant families, regardless of their roots or risk.
Yeah. One, can't the state do anything right, Jessica? And two, really, he said, you know, and he's going after people based on skin color. It's nonsensical.
This press conference was a direct reflection of the incompetence of this administration under Gavin Newsom. And we've seen here in California, it is a sanctuary state. Los Angeles is a sanctuary city. They prohibit law enforcement to work with our federal partners. If we had partnerships like they do in other states, you wouldn't see the lawlessness that you see here in California. I think it's such a contrast with the leadership of President Trump, who sent in the National Guard, and Governor Newsom, who sent a tweet.
Yeah, it really is. Meantime, here's Trump at Fort Bragg. He said the following here, Elizabeth Pipko. I'll get your response afterwards.
Generations of Army heroes did not shed their blood on distant shores only to watch our country be destroyed by invasion and third world lawlessness here at home, like is happening in California. As Commander-in-Chief, I will not let that happen. It's never going to happen.
I mean, the police chief in Los Angeles, he came on a national news conference, Elizabeth Pipko, and said that his officers were overwhelmed. So the president sent in help, and he's a villain. And you think, man, it's unbelievable, the response to this. Ron DeSantis was on Jesse Waters tonight saying this is not how you govern.
No, it's certainly not how you govern, but I want to compare those two clips you just played from Donald Trump and obviously Gavin Newsom. You know what Democrats have done the last few years? The biggest mistake they've made is conflating immigrants and illegal immigrants, because I can tell you people like my parents who went through absolute hell and back to get to this country the right way have no interest in being compared with anyone who broke the law to come here. They also have no interest in being compared with anyone who doesn't love everything that this country stands for. Donald Trump knows the difference between immigrants and illegal immigrants, and so do Americans. And that's why Democrats will fail again on this issue.
It's amazing. I want to put up the Marquette Law School Supreme Court poll. Do you favor or oppose deporting immigrants who are living in the U.S. illegally back to their home countries? Favor 66, oppose 34. Now I want to play some sound from the numbers guy at CNN on this polling. Watch.
You go back to 2020, Democrats, get this, held a 32-point lead on this issue. Immigrant voters were in the Democratic camp. Jump forward to 2024, 2025. Look at that shift, a 40-point shift to the right among immigrant voters. The group of voters who became more hawkish on immigration were, in fact, immigrants themselves.
country wants this, Jessica.
It does. And this shouldn't surprise anybody because those immigrants went through exactly what all of us went through over the last 4 years. And that is a failure of border security on the Biden-Harris administration's part. President Trump was elected to secure our border. 96% decrease in illegal border crossings the first month he was in office. This is what the people voted for, and it should come to a surprise to no one that Americans want consequences for those who break the law.
They voted for it. They are getting it. Jessica, Elizabeth, thank you both.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.